So, all right. So we'll start here. I'll wait. Hmm. Are you watching from? Surely you're just watching from your computer, yeah? Oh, it's because I'm broadcasting from the PlayStation. No, you need to go to YouTube. I can't share screen through Discord on the PlayStation. It won't let me. That's what I was saying. I would start a stream. I meant like a YouTube stream. Okay, so we should be looking at the forge. So I'm gonna get at where are we not go to the go? Huh? Strange. I guess when it's live and it won't. Either way, it's all right. So this is the forge, the ride. I've done a lot of. I need to fix some of the bushes and things still, but I wish I could center this. But you know, I think I'm gonna put some water splashes or something here. But we're going over the fire, hot coals, and all that good stuff. And then we've got a little bit of some splash here. I gotta fix that, I think, in that one. And I haven't done anything here yet, and I don't know what I'm gonna do here, but something maybe decorative. Yeah. No, yeah. They're on triggers. And then this is kind of the end of the ride, right there. I mean, I dig it. I like it. It's fun. I mean, there's some more decorating to be done. Yeah, yeah, all of this. Well, I mean, this is like scenery like that in the bushes, but some. I mean, I went back through and like manually had to because some of that stuff was popping out over the water and some of it was above ground, you know. So like I had to fix a few things, but yeah, but like this, like well, I showed you this before. I had to fix it, which I did. I've not messed with this any further with the hammer thing. I don't think that I can actually get it to do what I want it to do. Um, because I'm saying this, and I know that you're like the video's 15 to 20 seconds behind. I keep forgetting that. But but yeah, the hammer thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Maybe I'll just make a neat looking hammer and just call it good. But I was thinking about having some water sprays or something going on, like while you're sitting here waiting to be shot forward. Something. I don't know. But yeah, so when you come through, right, you go up and over. These are all like the hot coals, right, from the fires that come down and turn into like, they hit the water. Thus the steam here. And then there's some ones over here that haven't been burned. So, kind of like the charcoal effect. But I built this up big and tall so that like you didn't see anything else sweeping around this corner. Um, this area I still need to get some real decoration stuff going, maybe some buildings or something. But I want like I need to look through and see if there are any animatronics of just like these individual dudes banging hammers or whatever, and maybe just have a I don't know, some kind of better. Well, I don't know, just a better production facility than what you know the the pre-built blueprints have. But something forge like, something we're making things. But then, yeah, swinging through here, I wasn't really sure about the water things, so I just threw some stuff down here and just like hit it with like, flowers. Aim's a little off, the timing's a little off. It doesn't shoot quite far enough, but you know, at this point, I'm kind of done with it. At least this part and this part coming through here, which you get hit from this thing here. There's a water spray thing in it aimed at, you know, there you go, aimed at the ride. And once again, I say there you go, but you'll have to wait. But uh, yeah, so the next thing then would be to just, I kind of want to do something here in this little loop. And I was thinking about raising up the ground and coming over and then just removing the ground under it. So it'd be like a little floating thing and maybe just have some more of these little rune covered rocks or something. Maybe. I don't know. Kind of like that idea. I want a quick look at that. Oh, let's go faster than that though. All right. Okay, there we go. But I'm just going to put this here so I don't forget. No, it would form around. You can choose actually to for the tracks to auto tunnel or not to auto tunnel, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Um, uh, it did. It just people weren't realizing that it's actually a setting you have to click on now, whereas before it just automatically did it. Um, and so yeah, so when you're on here, I think it might actually be while it might be in the edit coaster. I think that might be where it is, but you would set it to auto tunnel. I'm pretty sure that's where that's at. So I'd have to go into edit. But yeah, so anyway, so that's this little area. I mean, I've not done a whole lot more. I finished in filling in around the lazy river with, you know, uh, all the walking path stuff. Um, I did throw in over here. There's a Viking boat ride thing that, and this is another thing is like there's not a whole lot of people riding any of the rides, but there's a ton of people just walking everywhere. Uh, it's just I don't know. It's just different. Although, hang on a second. I think actually now that we talk about this, not here. It is sandbox settings. Limit guest capacity. I had it turned all the way down. I wonder if we turn it all the way up and start queuing. But I mean, to be fair, I don't have a whole lot of things drawing people around, you know? And another thing that bugs me is that we don't have the information booths where, you could set it up and it'd be like, hey, go over here. And then once you're there, you'd have another information booth that would say, hey, okay, now that you're here, go to this part of the park. and we don't have that now, which is a bit of a bummer. So anyway, of course, I've got a train station here, and then of course I got a shitty one here just because, why not? But I have it coming around here to the area that would be the mines, right? And so it would let off. I'm sitting here talking like, either way, right? So I've got the train, if you will, that's going to run through the park on a temporary layout. But over here in the mines, I've had quite a bit of stuff built. Um, that I think is somewhat fun. And so I think what I'll do is put this into testing mode, and I'm going to turn on the front bumper camera. So this is the first ride that I made in the mines. Um, I think what I need more than anything is for you to be my build partner and come and like do all the lighting and stuff like that. I know. Yeah, the lights are different than they were. Eh, and I feel like there's less of them. And I wonder if I'm just not finding the right shit or what. I don't know. Mm, fair. Yeah. But yeah, so I dig the. I like this coaster. It's fun, and I've just kind of carved earth and stuff around it. I haven't really done any real decorating, but at some point I'll get into that. It's supposed to be, some kind of mines ride. Excuse me. But it's just kind of fun to sit and watch. Mm. Oh, it's just fun to watch, dude. I'm telling you. This last bit right through here that you're probably seeing right now, that little bumpy swoopy. Yeah, yeah, that's kind of fun. So that was the first thing that I made. Then I was like, you know what? Let's go down. Because I was like, I had this little cave, and I was like, what can I put in here? Fucking go karts. That's what I can put in here. You know. So yeah, yeah, I do too. Right. So we've got the this go kart track, and yeah. So again, some decorating. I think if I can find animatronics that are mining and stuff like that, I'll have like some little mining things. But just regular cars. There's nothing special. They're just basic go karts, and there's only the one. There's it's only the one kind. Now I believe you can recolor them. I don't know if you can actually decorate them. You probably can. Yes, some of them can. Some of the yes, some of the roller coaster carts you can add scenery to them and decorate them however you want, and that's part of these updates that we're getting, or these I forget what they're calling them, but like more coasters that are basic, meaning that like the carts themselves I think are going to be very basic, but scenery attachable. But yeah, right, right. Um, and I think they're going to be adding interchangeable trains to some of the rides. Maybe I don't quite understand all of that. I think that's what that means. Is that like, yes, I like this track, but I don't like this train set. And I think maybe you'll be able to do something about that. I don't know. Um, so there's this long straight tunnel coming up in a second. I think it'd be fun to have like some strobe light stuff going on. If we darken that up a little bit somehow, I don't know. But I mean, this is a fun little go kart thing. Yeah, see, here's some of the lights, which you'll see in about 20 seconds. But like, I put some on the wall, and like, it's just it's not it's just not right. But so that will be that go kart ride, which I kind of dig. Um, I did start building in some shops down here, just kind of a main landing area with a little bathroom hidden in the corner. Um, Again, you'll see this in a second, but I kind of like this, just throwing them down and then pulling rock up and then just throw some building faces on them when I'm ready. Along with under the train station in the basement, if you will, is a staff facilities. Uh, let's see, so that's that ride. Let's see, not that one yet. Okay. Yes, this one's kind of. Is this the one hang on. That one. Yes, okay, this one. Uh, eh, it's kind of fun, but it's not hitting all the numbers right. You know, the excitement is low, the fear is a little low. But I mean, there's a couple of places where I can't get it to go any faster. You know, in a couple of spots. But you know, overall, it's a fun ride still. I like. There's a section where you go through the long tunnel that the go karts go through. You know, but I've gotten better at the hand making those spirals and little corkscrew things. Um, there's a banking offset switch now, and I'll show you in a minute if you want to see what that does. But that it kind of helps. At first, it makes it all weird and wonky fucking looking. I mean, it definitely requires some smoothing. But in doing so, you can make these proper, little corkscrews and or loops and other things without having to put like a weird turn in it. You can actually keep your lines straight, but when you do the banking offset, right, you say, I'm going to turn it 15 degrees, whatever, clockwise. The whole thing shifts a little bit to the left with the roll to the right. So it moves left and corkscrews right. And so when you come all the way back around, you'll kind of end up back where you would have been if you had just gone straight, but you managed to put a loop in there without having to force, like a 15-degree turn somewhere, which is kind of nice. But anyway, so that's that track. And then I've got one more that I just finished not too long ago. Let's... Yeah, okay. Hey, let's go to this train and start this ride. This one turned out mostly good. Almost green in the excitement, but green in the other two. But yeah, I feel like my coaster building is getting better as far as having fun rides to sit and watch that also kind of make the numbers, Yeah, yeah. So I kind of wanted to get all these rides to kind of have a chance to see, the same areas, or like on this ride, see the go-karts, or on the go-karts, see some of the other rides, to include even um, like the water. Like I started putting in flume stuff and some swimming stuff up here. Um, and yeah, this is also really fun to sit here and you can kind of see and look around like, oh, look, there's a coaster. Oh, look, there's some more coasters. You know, um, yeah. I want to, um, I want to make a really, really long one, a long flume ride with like that 70 or 80 degree like start drop, but like have it come up somewhere really high, you know, like where I have set to be the top of my mountain, which is still too high, but still, I mean, to come up to this spot and have one of those fast drop flumes and just maybe go straight, just almost straight down and then just hit the ground and just make a big, just swooping fucking, turn and maybe go up. I don't know. The thing is, some people will be too scared to ride those kind of rides, but it'd be fun as hell to watch, you know. But then just have it do something similar to like the little train track that's going around, which you'll see here in a second. But and maybe have it come through. I don't know. But ultimately, I want it to be able to land, somewhere over here. Maybe give it its own exit pool. But I think it would be fun to have like one of those super sharp ones. But in the meantime, or until then, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what it. I guess I should turn all this back on. Um, yeah, I just also just trying to get more people around the park into the park stuff. But then I'll wait for this to catch up. But uh, over on this side, I want to maybe have one of those good water rides that goes through some of this little lake that I have. And I was going to have a neat swimming area over here. I had developed like this little moat, and every now and then I'd throw in water and be like, okay, and then like delete the water, but now I can't get this water to delete, which makes me angry because I need to make this better. And there's a little spot here where they're not connected. Uh, but I was going to try to have all this water line kind of connected. If Well, I can't. Yeah, and see, with when there's water in there, no, I can't. I can't. It won't do anything with the right. And now on this side, yeah, like for whatever reason, it's just not. Like I should be able to right click on it and make it go away, and it's not doing it. And so yeah, and that bugs me because I want to make this go away. I can make this water go away, and then get rid of this little wall, and then just fill it all back up. And kind of recarve this to make it not look like ass. You know, um, because I was gonna kind of put some little vegetation just along the edges, brush style, and pretty it up. But right now I can't get that to happen, so I don't know. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm having fun with it. There's, I mean, I also realized I'm trying to make this a super big park, and I shouldn't have. Like honestly, ah, well, when this catches up here in a second, I would say that like this, like where my entrance is, straight down. So basically half of the land, like the full length from, the camera where my line is right here and all the way down. That would be more than enough room to have a decent sized park with a ton of decent rides. I mean, I've got 3 coasters and a go-kart track over here. And right now, one water slide, but, plenty of room for others. And I'm going to have more water bits over here. And I've got just the one coaster here, but then I've got several water rides over here. I mean, there's just so much space. And for how much time I've spent in just decorating this little area, I mean, I've been loving it, as far as that goes. Um, I need to build some kind of Viking either ship or docks area to cover up the guest entrance ships that I put down. Which that's really neat too. It's a lot easier for you. Like this isn't the original spot, and I may have told you that before. Like the original entrance area, it might have been somewhere over here, and it let me take all of that out and just move it to wherever I wanted to, which is nice. Man, turning up all the people did kind of get our queue lines going. Holy crap! But yeah, so I mean, this is what I've got uh, so far, man. I mean, it's all kind of in work, and half looks like ass. At least the mines area does. Um, I'd thought about putting in a water ride next to the forge, um, but until I can figure out if I can get this water thing fixed, I just don't want to deal with it right now. But I mean, as far as the Ozarks, as a RP setting goes, right? We had the forge with the binds. There was the tavern. What was it? The mill, and there was a fifth place, and I can't remember what the fifth place was. But you know, eh. Oh, we could build Ozzy's Swamp. I didn't think about that. Have like one of those little load like tracked flat rides or something, and have like man, gosh, I wish I had some of the stuff from the first Planet Coaster, like some of the Ghostbusters effects, the lightning and the big mist thing. That was awesome. I mean, not even just the ghost, but like just the big storm effect thing would be awesome. Um, Now, I will say, oh, hey, I was going to show you though the banking offset. So let me pull up a coaster here. Here, this will do. Right, so let's drive tires. No. All right, so let me get a bit of a track here going so I can turn this around. Whoa. All right, so now with the okay, so banking offset. I'll wait for this to catch up for a second, but on your track supports. Let's turn those off. Yeah, so on your side you have a banking offset, and you can go, I think, up to okay, it's 2 and then a negative. And I'd seen this guy on a video, and he's like, just turn it to 1, and this is what happens, right? So I'm telling it to turn clockwise, but the track piece itself also has a bit of a counterclockwise thing to it. And so I'm going to place a couple of these down so you can kind of see it. And we'll give it a bit of a turn here. So what I want to do is get this to come back down flat. So I can better demonstrate. Alright, so when you get down here, yeah. As such, okay. Now, and I'll give this a little bit of time here to catch up. But let's say you wanted to make like a loop. Um, so our banking offset, we're going to just do that a little bit. And of course, now that I'm saying this to you and showing you, it's probably going to be wrong, but I know I've done this, and it's neat. And I promise you, it works. But I mean, there's like many other things, like you have to kind of know how it works. And if I forget it or do it wrong, it'll be on me. But the idea here is that it keeps you from having to force, like I was saying, the weird turn somewhere in your loop. In the video that I watched, it was explained very well, and I just can't say it the way that he said it. But I think you had to. Hang on. Something. Yeah, see, I didn't do something right. And I'm wondering if I don't have to twist it back around. That's not right either. But the idea being is that when you're done, right, you could look at it from front to back and you would see like this little keyhole where it would go kind of up and to the right, and then it would cross over and come down on the left. And then when you finished, you could look at it from the other side and you could have your straight way through. I screwed that up somehow. Um, but yes, so I mean, that's what the banking offset will do for you though. And then, like looking at this very first bit, right, when you first look at it, right, let's test it, right, and it's going to look like ass because I haven't done any smoothing. Right. Or it would probably help if I gave it more gas too. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to cough into your ear. Um, Edit mode. Go fast as hell, buddy. Do it. Stop, start. Now we should. But yeah, you see how it's all jerky. Good lord, it's still not powerful enough. But yeah, so of course now you're seeing it probably. Um, so yeah, from that, then you do have to go into hard, like smooth mode, or not hard smooth, but like you need to really spend your time smoothing the ride. Okay. Welcome back. So I had a thought while you were out. Oh, you sons of bitches. First of all, let's get rid of the track supports. You sons of bitches. I wish they would just remember that I always want that shit turned off. There we go. Okay. Yay. Yay, my camera. But yeah, so I started one of those super steep drop things, and I'm having it run through the rocks, but come out underneath here where some of these other rides come through. But yeah, I mean, was there anything in particular you wanted to, you sons of bitch, you wanted to see, or a feature? Right. Hmm. Let's see if they make it this far. They should. I hope that that all works out because, man, oh yeah, they're getting through there just fine. I really, really, really think you and I could have some good fun. But in the meantime, this is the best I can do is let you watch me tool with it. Let's see, which way is that going? Okay. Let's go straight. Down just a wee bit. Oh, that is not enough in it. I think it's too low. Shit. Uh, oh wow, that's super deep. Let's see if they come out the other side here. Oh, they do not. Okay. So here's my camera. Let me out of here. Jesus. Done. Let's dig a hole. As far as tomorrow goes, by the way, as far as game day, I am not prepared. I'm not ready. I totally forgot. I got all sidetracked with all the fucking shitty weather and a few other things that kind of had me down this week. And to top all of that off, I did promise Leo that I would run him around this weekend. Well, I think we both did. Well, you know, I mean, Leo started working, right, at that new place right next door to you. And so I am taking him to work now in the mornings, which, I mean, I don't mind, but, you know, it's a bit of a hard change to the schedule out of nowhere, you know. But, I mean, the upside is, like I said, he's got his permit, so yay, you know. All we gotta do is just get him out and driving, kind of on the regular. But, you know, I mean, that'll come. I mean, he's, you know, to a degree, motivated. And I'm pretty sure him having to walk home from work is not pleasant because honestly, he might be walking the same distance, if not just a little farther, than what he was walking to go to Walmart over here by my house. If you think about where he lives, he's in that Foxtail community just off of Kenwood, right? I mean, you figure he's got to walk down 16 to 412 and then walk to your shop effectively. I mean, that's got to be at least a good 3 to 4 miles, yeah. Which is, I would guess, a similar, I don't know, maybe walking to Walmart over here is a longer walk. But either way, it's still a long fucking walk. In shit weather, you don't want that, you know. Either way, again, motivation. I do like these long tube slides. I like the clear tubes that you can see through. There we go. Oh. Yeah, we put a pool in here. Then get out of that works. Oh man, yeah. So I watched. I meant to tell you, I did watch the Remarkable Life of Ibelin. I think I told you about that a while back. The Remarkable Life of Ibelin is a documentary about a kid that had Duchenne's disease that played WoW. I think I know I told you guys about it, although you may not have really bought in on it because World of Warcraft and all that. But um, yeah, I guess it's. I mean, it's not really a biopic in that sense, but yeah. So like this kid had Duchenne's disease, born in like 1989. So you figure what 2004 when WoW drops, he's 15, but he's already like in a wheelchair and stuff. Yes, yes, right, and like he never told like any of the people that he played with that he was sick, until like right before he died, and he only told like a couple of people. Um, and like his parents had no idea like the things that he had done, to help his friends. Like there was a lady that he was in a guild with that she had a son that had autism, and she was like, I can't. I just want to like be able to hug him and blah blah, you know. And he was like, there's always a solution to everything if we could just talk about it and figure it out, yada yada. And he was like, why don't you get him to play this game and see if he can get comfortable in it, and then like, there's a hug emote. Maybe you can start with that. Maybe if you can get him to hug you in game, right? And like that totally worked. Like she got her son to play, and like suddenly the two of them were able to like communicate, and like her son opened up to her and stuff, and like life changing shit, but like there were a lot of people like that he would help, you know and so for like 8 years, he played this game with these people, and like he was just that guy, and I was like, man, that's super cool. But yeah, I remember I told Alan about it. Alan said he watched it when he finally got Netflix, I guess, turned on or whatever. And he said that it was, in fact, just amazing. Yes. Yeah. It's about an hour and a half long, maybe. I mean, it. The thing that I really found super neat about all of this is that like his parents had no idea, like he had a full-on social life inside of a digital world, and they didn't understand, you know, the kind of friendships one could make, you know, playing an online game. Um, when they started looking into it, I guess somebody, I'm trying to think, because the kid kept like a blog, but he never published it. But it was something like called My Amazing Life or something like that, where he would talk about a lot of these things, but like he never shared it like with anybody for the longest time. But he had left his password for it for his parents to find after he died, so that they could read about all this stuff. And through that, they were able to kind of figure out or get in touch with some other people, and they were able to get in touch with Blizzard, and they got basically all of the logs of every conversation that he had had, like in game with other people, um, sent to them. And in like the 8 years, they estimated he played almost 20,000 hours of game time, which is a lot, even by my standards back in the day. But they through that, and like they got some animators from Blizzard. They basically recreated or they dramatized, if you will, the in character stuff with like custom animations and stuff. So it was neat because like I was looking at the game the way I played it, but like here's custom, scenes. Uh, and of course, the voices were all voiced by actors. But like the guy that voiced the kid, like apparently his voice is very, very similar to the actual kid. And I don't know, it was just neat. It's worth the watch. Um, I think the documentary was put together well, and I mean it might not hit you the same way because you don't have a chunk of your adult life tethered to WoW, the way I do. Yeah, there's a social connection that people don't get until they see it for themselves. You know, I mean, in my mind, I mean it's not any different than having a pen pal, 50 years ago. You have a friend that you've never met in person, but you talk about things that you might talk with somebody that was your neighbor. How is that different? It's really not. I don't know. Um, you know, yeah, yeah, right. And having that one kid taped to the ceiling. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, honestly. Yeah, right, right. Oh, there we go. Open. Open the ride, but once they hit the pool, they're supposed to get out, but they don't have anywhere to go. I guess I better fix that. Oh, dang. All right. So the um the path tool is kind of fun. I'm sure you've seen plenty of videos on it. It's fun, but it's also kind of a pain. Uh, I don't know. I don't really know how to properly say this or say how it. I mean, I dig it, but you just have to understand that there's certain settings that you're going to want to, be familiar with, I guess, or get used to that are definitely different from Planet Coaster 1. Uh, in fact, dang it. There, that'll work. Basically, just know that you're going to start off ugly a lot more than you think you will. But it's a bit more repairable, right? Like that looks janky right now. Or, well, when it catches up to you here, it'll look janky. But uh, I like that you can come back around. I can pull the ground up around it, get it nice and smooth. But also there's a cornering tool. So like all these hard points, here in a second, I'll show you what you can do with that. But first, let's okay, so with so with pads, you do have a rounding tool uh, thing, are the types of things you can do, and it gives you strength from 1 to 12, brush size and all that. But you can come around here, and it'll just kind of, for the most part, cleanly give you some rounded things, but sometimes it does weird shit. And sometimes, if your ground isn't flat, I mean, I like it, but I don't like it at the same time. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can kind of use it to pretty up your shit a little bit if you wanted to. Although I don't like that. Um, but then I also like the draw tool. Straight on right. So yeah, so drawing out, just whatever, and turning your merge thing on is great because it'll just line up with your pool edge. But then you have this edit tool, which again I'm sure you're probably familiar with from videos, but this is neat. Um, Again, elevation can kind of mess with it a little bit, but um, you can choose your little points, and you get these little edit things, right? Like you might see on a coaster. So you can choose like a section, an entire section if you want, and then drag it, and then that whole thing will come out, right? Or, uh, damn it. I just, I enjoy that there's better control now over how you can make your paths look. Uh, and I mean, there's some caveats, to go with that, but overall, I enjoy this much more than, the previous version when it comes to pathing. Yeah, right. I mean, it's really just a matter of learning curve, and yeah, I mean, it's not going to play the way that Planet Coaster 1 plays, but there's yeah, yeah, you know, um, I've been enjoying the water park stuff, uh, but I mean, you can tell that it's unfinished. I mean, and I'm sure you've seen this, that everybody's real big complaint is that it feels like this should be an early access game, in that it was released buggy, they were still taking players' inputs, making changes. I mean, and to be fair, it didn't sell at the AAA starting price. Right, the base game, digital download, $50, I think, when not on sale. So yeah, it's not 70 or whatever, but excuse me, we've both seen early access games come out at $40, or more. And I kind of feel like that's kind of what this is like they rushed the release. I don't know. They got a lot of slap back for that, like, and we've talked about this, the DLC thing and releasing all that before bugs were even fixed. Yes, I agree. Yeah, yeah. So I think given time, I think the game will polish, but it's going to require time. Um, you know. Anyway, that's kind of a fun little ride. I like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's still fun to play with. Yes, there's problems, but you know what? Eh, right. And I bet you they do. Right. Right. Oh yeah, for sure. All right. So maybe I need to turn back down how many people are in the park, because now the queue line, like, this is just ridiculous. Because there's no actual queue line. It's just there's the gate. This is a neat looking ride, though. Sit here and watch it for a second. But the swing bars at a certain point, I think they go at like different speeds or something. You get these weird angles as they spin. I don't know. Now that I'm watching it, it's not doing it. And I know as soon as like I go away from it, it'll start doing it. But either way, I don't know. Yeah, I would like more themes. I mean, I've only really looked at the Viking theme because it's the only one that seemed kind of fun to me right away. I mean, I kind of like the mythology theme, but I do kind of miss having like the Western theme, or you know, maybe some kind of spacey sci-fi theme. You know, right? And right. And I really, really hope. I mean, my guess is we're probably going to get pirates and cowboys from the Planet Coaster One themes. Um, but yeah, yeah. And I'll bet you anything those are going to be DLC content. You're going to have to buy it. And it'll be like $7.99. Here's 2,000 more pieces of scenery. Yeah. Well, and that's just it, right? Like, there's a lot of love from the fans for Planet Zoo, and I guess some of the upgrades they made for that game have, transitioned. They were able to transition into also things for this game. I think having to do a lot with like the power and, and maybe the water filtration ideas, but you know, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay, there we go. That might work. I'm just wondering if I should try to. I don't know if I want to close this in or not. Maybe I do and have like a walkway through here. But like, that seems, and maybe I just haven't looked hard enough, but like, I also kind of miss just some of the neat random scenery pieces. Like the what was it, the living tree or whatever, in Planet Coaster One. It was like a very specific tree. It was just cool looking. I don't know. I remember at some point I had a really cool little like forest walkthrough thing in one of my old parks, and there was nothing to it but just cool trees and bushes and things. I don't know. Yeah, just I don't know. I mean, ultimately, I like I said, I'm having fun. You know, um, this is the first park that I've actually tried to do some fun, real things with. But you know, oh look, okay, there it is. Oh, you'll see it in about 20 seconds. This big spinny ride I was telling you about that does the weird angular things with its spin. I think this would be something fun to ride in real life. Uh, but yeah, so is it worth the base price for the base game? I think it is because I think you're going to get the amount of time out of it that you would want. I mean, I'm sure I've already put, you know, actually, I couldn't tell you how many hours I put into it. I'd have to look, but um, I would say between 40 and 60. Does it tell me if I pull? I don't know. I'd have to. I think there's a way to look. If I go to here, doesn't it tell me somewhere on the shit 205 hours? Oh my god, already? Okay, well then. I mean, for, 40 bucks, because I didn't buy the DLC packs. I just bought just the standard game. And figured, once I got a better feel for, then maybe I'll get the other stuff. But I mean, even so, I'm having a ton of fun. So yeah, I'd say it's worth it. And I hope to get the bug thing, the crash stuff sorted out for you and soon. Because I really, really want to be able to play this game with you. Right. Right. Yeah, man. Are you taking off? Taking off? I mean, if you're, well, I was gonna say if you're gonna come back around, I'll hang around. But if you're gonna take off, then I was probably gonna take off. It's getting, yeah, and I've been getting up at like 6 in the morning every day lately, so Daddy gets tired faster or sooner. But yeah, I mean, you know, I wanted to get your impression of what of what I've done, with it. I mean, yeah, it looks janky in certain places, but the overall, I mean, this is way better than anything I've ever done in the Planet Coaster 1. We call it with him cheating in video games. Yeah, I've not. I'm aware of it. I've not looked into it. I was like, is it worth my time? I don't know. If oh, uh, uh, do you see in the news, of course, the SpaceX rocket fucking blowing up? Uh, did you see what they called it? It wasn't an explosion. It, they called it a what did they call it? An unexpected disassembly in flight. I mean, literally, like about the dumbest shit you could think of to call it. That's what they called it. Like, why don't you just say it fucking exploded in flight? It was a test rocket. Nobody died. The only thing you lost was money and probably a little pride, you know? But yeah, they were like, no, this was an unexpected disassembly mid-flight. Like, okay, so like instead of saying somebody killed themselves, you're gonna say they unalived themselves because YouTube. Like, ugh, right? You know? Well, I mean, it's like the title receptionist, right? Like nobody calls a receptionist anymore. There's like a four word fucking thing. depending on where you work as to what they call it. But I mean, why can't you just call the person working the desk the receptionist? Because that's what they do. They work at reception. They receive. You know, it literally makes sense. But no, everybody has to have a fucking title. Just good lord. Anyway, uh, there's also some kind of way to trick the game into letting you put these see-through tubes in water. Because there's a guy that built a ride on YouTube, but he didn't show, like he showed us him starting to build it. And then like there's a clip, like it just cuts and then like it's built. And he's like, oh, I forgot to hit record. So I'm kind of wondering if it's not like if it was like a mod that he somehow, because I can't imagine, I can't figure out how he does it. It's just not possible. Anyway, with all of that, I'll let you go because I need to get as well. But I will keep you up to date with this, and then yeah, yeah, right on. I'll holler at you tomorrow, man, and later. Let's see. Let's do that and broadcast.